Howdy everyone, how are we doing? It's the end of the JDQ week. Thank you as always for joining. It is Friday the 1st of August. We are into August, and that's sort of, it'll feel like a very rapid slide, but it does feel like the 1st of August, it just all of a sudden the year just vanishes in the blink of an eye. But yeah, it's Friday the 1st of August, so thank you as always for joining me today. Another 5 questions, basically kicking off your new August JDQ global leaderboard as well. So the leaderboard will reset for the monthly side of it. Once users have put their first sort of 5 scores on, then the monthly leaderboard will kick into life, and you'll start to see, because there's a minimum for each of the leaderboards. As to the daily one, is not daily, is just your score, but weekly I think is fine. Monthly and all time, there's a minimum threshold that you have to hit of adding scores before you actually before your scores go onto the leaderboard. I'm not going to tell you what it is, because then people might just do the minimum and then, not bother. But thank you very much for those who are continuing to use the leaderboard. It took a lot of work to code it and get it all together, so I really do appreciate you guys using it. Let's get into your questions then for today. As always, 5 questions and a tiebreaker as well to wrap up your week. So without further ado, let's get into it. It's Friday the 1st of August. Here's question number 1. In which Charles Dickens novel would you find the characters Mr. Bumble, Mr. and Mrs. Sowerby, and Nancy? So in which Charles Dickens novel would you find the characters Mr. Bumble, Mr. and Mrs. Sowerby, and Nancy? Question number 2. True or false? You can tell the age of a ladybird by the spots on its back. Is this true or false? Number 3. The Jamaican town of Ocho Rios is Spanish for 8 what? So the Jamaican town of Ocho Rios is Spanish for 8 what? Question number 4. Which colour in snooker is worth 4 points? So which colour in snooker is worth 4 points? And your final question for today, number 5. How many dots are in the Domino's Pizza logo? So how many dots are in the Domino's Pizza logo? Effectively, which domino tile have they used for Domino's Pizza logo? So there we go. That's your 5 for today, wrapping up the week. Dave will count us down then from 5 to 0. So make sure you have your answers all ready to go by the time Dave gets to 0. And we'll see how you did. So Dave, take it away.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Thank you very much, Dave. Right, let's see how you got on with your How you got on? Try that again. Good squeaky. How you got on with your final answers of the week. Question number 1. In which Charles Dickens novel would you find the characters Mr. Bumble, Mr. and Mrs. Sowerby, and Nancy? Oliver Twist. Number 2. True or false? You can tell the age of a ladybird by the spots on its back. It is false. Yeah, it's one of those urban legend malarkey sort of passed down from generation to generation. You can't, just because the ladybird's got 90 spots on its back doesn't mean it's 90 years old. Number 3, the Jamaican town of Ocho Rios is Spanish for 8 rivers. So Rios is rivers, Ocho is 8. Number 4, which colour in snooker is worth 4 points? It's the brown. And your final question for the week, number 5. How many dots are in the Domino's Pizza logo? There are 3. 1 and 2. Yeah. It's the 2 and 1 tile. So there's 3. I'm trying to picture it back in my head then, but yeah, no, it is 3. But I can't remember which way around it. I'm sure it's 2 and then 1. There we go. That is your final set of questions for the week. How did you do? Let me know. Don't forget, if you want to add your score to the global leaderboard of Quiz Hub, you need an answer to your tiebreaker. And your tiebreaker question is this: how many characters are listed and say at least one word in the novel Oliver Twist? So how many characters are listed and say at least one word in the novel Oliver Twist? As always, nearest to it gets the point for competitive players. If you are adding your score to the global leaderboard, it's the difference between your score and the correct answer. Okay, there are 27. Yep, there are 27 characters listed and say at least one word in the novel Oliver Twist. I think there's about 60 something characters listed in total. So there you go. That is all of your questions and rounding up another final week of JDQ. So as always, thank you very much for joining me this week. Hope you had fun. Hope you've been entertained and you may even have learned something along the way as well. Who knows? So me and Dave will be back next week with another 25 questions, another 5 days worth of JDQs for you to get stuck into. And who knows? There might be all sorts in there. And you might find that golden question that you really know the answer to that no one else does. Who knows? 25 questions coming back next week. Thanks as always for playing this week. Thank you very much. And don't forget, thank you very much for downloading and listening. But yeah, as always with the, I've had some lovely messages after I mentioned it last week about, you know, count us in for 5 stars and stuff like that. So, you know, make sure you give it a like, rating and all of that jazz. It really does make it worthwhile for all the work that goes into it. So thank you very much for doing that already. And I'll see you all soon. As always, from me and Dave, take care and stay safe.